Hi everyone, so today we'll be looking at standard form, right? Standard form, have it right here. And some of you would remember what is standard form or how to write a number in standard form. Some of you may not remember, that's totally fine, right? So first of all, let's look what is standard form. So looking at the left here, standard form is a method used to express very large numbers or very small numbers as a product of two terms, one of which is a power of 10. All right, that could probably sound a little bit confusing, right? So let's read over. We use it to express very large or small numbers as a product. What does products mean? Products means multiply. A product of two terms, that means you're multiplying two terms, one of which is a power of 10. So let's showing you like this example here. We have 5,982. We want to write that in standard form. Well, the answer is already here, but we want to go figure out how we actually get to this. So 5,982 in standard form is 5.982 by 10 to the power 3. All right, so let's see how we actually get to this. So first thing, the first rule here, the first point here, firstly, locate where the decimal point is. So I'm just going to write the number down here. 5,982. Are we seeing any decimal point? I know I'm not seeing any decimal point, but anytime you don't see a decimal point in a number, the decimal point is understood to be right at the end, right? It's like it's invisible, but it's there, right? So if you don't see a decimal point in a number, it's at the end. Cool. So we recognize where our decimal point is supposed to be. Then it says, place the decimal point after the first non-zero number. What is a non-zero number again? A non-zero number is a number that is not zero. So you place any decimal point after the first non-zero number. Alright, so the first non-zero number is 5, right? So that means I'm going to put 5, and I'm going to take that decimal point and put it in between the 5 and the 9, right? And write down everything else. So I took the decimal point and I placed it after the first non-zero number. Cool? Alright, and let's look what else we have to do. So now this number 5.982 gives us a number that is greater than 1, that is 1 or greater, but is less than 10, right? Which we want. Cool. Now, let's keep on going. Ask yourself, how many times must I move that decimal point to get back the original number? That should be original, not originally, sorry. To get the original number. So, my original number is 5,982. I just placed my decimal point right after the 5. So how many times I'll have to move it back to get the original number? I'll have to move it 1, 2, 3 times to reach back here. 3 times to the left, right? 3 times. Oh, what am I doing with this? Shit. Hi everyone, so today we'll be looking at standard form, right? Some of you all remember what standard form is. Some of you all probably forgot. That's quite all right. We're going to look at it now, right? Standard form. So let's look at the little definition we have on the left-hand side here. So standard form is a method used to express very large numbers or very small numbers as a product of two terms, one of which is a power of 10. So let's read over. It is a method used to express very large and very small numbers as a product of two terms. What does product mean? Product means multiply, one of which is a power of 10. Alright, I know the definition probably a little bit confusing for some of you all. Let's get a question to kind of clear it up a little bit. So looking at the first example here, 5,982 in standard form can be written as, and we have our answer here, 5.982 by 10 to the power 3. But we want to figure out how we really reach to that point, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to write the number down here. 5,982 982, and we're going to look at these steps together. So the first step says we want to locate where the decimal point is. So we're looking at 5,982. Are we seeing a decimal point here? Look at the number I wrote at the side here. Are we seeing a decimal point? No, we are not seeing a decimal point. When we do not see a decimal point, the decimal point is understood to be at the end of the number. Decimal point is usually invisible when you don't see it at the end, but it's there, right? Just know it's there. Alright, so cool. We know where our decimal point is. The next step now, step 2, it says place the decimal point after the first non-zero number. What is a non-zero number again? A non-zero number is a number that is not zero, right? Plain and simple. So our first non-zero number is 5. So you're going to place the decimal point after the 5. So you get 5.982. Good. So we have the first part down, and then we have the second part, right? Good. Now this number that we now have, 5.982, is a number that is 1 or greater or less than 10. For standard form, we need to put a decimal point. Where you place the decimal point, it must be a number that is either 1 or greater, but it must be less than 10. And we could tell that 5.982 it falls in that range, right? Good. So the next part, we're almost finished already, yeah? The next part is now, we want to try and figure out how many times must I move the decimal point to get the original, and this should be original, to get the original number. My original number is the 5,982. So I want to know how many times I need to move this decimal point to get the original number. So let's look at the number we have here. My decimal point is here now. I need to move it 1 time, 2 times, 3 times to come back here, right? So 3 times to the right. So that's where I get my to the power 10. You're going to write 5.982 is always multiplied by 10. And then the power that's going to come on top here is how many times we're moving back our the decimal point. It's 3 times to the right. So we're going to put 3 on top here. And since we're moving to the right, it's really positive 3. Ricky, let's write your final answer as 5.982 by 10 to the power 3. And this is standard form here. Now, I wrote a generalized version here. The general form, so the general form, to change a number to standard form is m by 10 to the power n, where m is that number that is 1 or greater but less than 10. So that's really that number we change when we replace the decimal point. And n is how many times we must move back our decimal, right? Note that if we are moving our decimal point to the right, the power of 10 will be positive. Just like in this example, we move 3 times to the right, so it's positive 3, right? If we are moving back our decimal point to the left, then it'll be negative, right? And we're going to look at some more questions with the whole positive and negative.